Well, good morning and welcome to Lucore Automotive. Today is not starting out exactly how I would like it to. I'm in the 1979 AMX. Decided it was a nice day. It's 40 degrees outside. I'll drive it home and I'll drive it back to work in the morning. Well, the driving it home part worked out well. The driving it back to work part, not so much so far. Seems as if my fuel gauge has stopped working, or my sending unit has stopped working. And when it says I have 3/4 of a tank, it might mean I have absolutely no fuel. So fortunately it did this when I'm only like 4 blocks from my house. So I'm going to walk home and get a can of gas, use another vehicle to go to the gas station, get some gas, come back. Yeah, you know how this works. You've run out of gas before. Anyway, guess it's time to fix my fuel pump sending unit again. Here we go, more AMC stuff. Well, fortunately for me, I have a UDF that's like 5 blocks from my house, and I died 4 blocks from my house. So walk back to the house, get another car, go to the gas station, bring my fuel can that's about as old as the car is, and a funnel. Yeah, no big deal. Let's grab some premium and get back to the car. Hopefully it's just an issue of fuel and not a fuel pump. The police officer man that was helping me did watch my fuel pressure gauge, and he said it was barely moving, so hopefully it's just a matter of it's out of fuel and not a fuel pump. Joy of old cars, right? The nice thing is it's got a strainer in it. Look at this. Old school fuel can. All you gotta do is just tip it up and it works. I really hope all I did was run this thing out of fuel. That's all I did. All right, so as you can see, I have 1/4 gallon of gas, a little more than, which is definitely not true because I just put 2 gallons in it. That's it. Come on, baby, pull fuel forward. All right, now I have a half a gallon or half a tank of gas. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say I ran it out of gas. Good job. Now, unfortunately, that does also mean I have a bad sending unit, because according to this, I have 3/4 of a tank. Which clearly I don't have 3/4 of a tank because I got 1.635 gallons of fuel. Okay. I saved myself. Go me. Now I can go on about my day, and we got to figure that out. So, yeah, Kennedy Automotive, gonna call Jeff, get myself a new sending unit. Jeff, I need more parts.
Look at that thing. You know what'd be fun? Oh yeah. It's about to happen, Austin. We're gonna take our dirt tracking.
probably fine. Get back to the shop. I'm billing you for 35 cents for a vacuum cap.
Hopefully I didn't break the camera on that one. It's a little windy today. Hey, I'm gonna try to catch the camera if it gets run over again. See if that happens. It's really windy today, so the weather's a little bit crazy. I was pulling the AMC AMX Spirit into the shop. Got a couple things we need to look at, and after it was just flogged over at Old Man's Garage RC track, we need to figure out why it doesn't have posi traction. So we're gonna see if it has a posi, it's open, and then let's get inside before I break my camera. So I can get it inside. My butt's all wet because Austin left the window down and it rained last night. That's nice.
All right, shameless merch plug break. Everybody, the Church of Bad Decisions shirts are up. If you haven't heard that already, they're up. We have the new I Support Bad Decisions shirt, which is featuring 1979 AMC Spirit AMX. You actually can see our two project cars sitting in the background of this shirt. Really cool job. Thank you, Gina, for what you did on this one. Really, really digging it. Even more interesting is the funds from selling this shirt are going to be what helps to fund and make the Hellcat swapped AMX, or whatever that thing ends up being, a thing. Because that's going to be a really expensive build and not something we can just do out of pocket. So what we decided we're going to do is we're going to just use your money to help us build a bad decision. So those shirts are officially on the website as well for pre-order at this point in time. So if you feel like picking up an AMC I Support Bad Decision shirt and putting your money towards helping to build a car, we appreciate it. LucoreAuto.myshopify.com. LucoreAuto.myshopify.com. We appreciate it, guys. Rich has got some more work to do on my AMX, so we'll get back to that.
Alright, so I've got the AMX out of the tornado winds outside. We're gonna take a look underneath this old girl. We've done quite a bit of work to this thing over the last couple years. We've had it, I think, about 3 years now. Full engine build, bigger clutch. It has a T4. I'm going to be putting a T5 in it this season for better freeway drivability. And I need to fix the posi because, as you all saw in old man's video recently, the whole drift session was a little weak, and it's probably because the posse's not working. This car is supposed to have a posse in it, but if it does, it's not working well. So we're going to crack the rear cover open, take a look, see what's actually in there, if we can fix it, or if we need to get an actual Dana model, AMC Model 20 posi traction rear end for it. Well, posi traction's GM's version. I don't know what AMC called theirs. I'm sure they had some unique name for it. At any rate, let's get the rear diff cover pulled so we can assess that. And we also have a fuel sending unit issue, or possibly a gauge issue. So I'm going to pop the sending unit out of the fuel tank real quick because it's accessible with the tank in the car. And we need to figure out whether the brand new sending unit that we put in it 2 years ago is bad, or if it's a wiring issue or a fuel gauge issue. So let's take a look at that real quick. Let me get the diff cover off. We'll assess that, and then we'll get on to the fuel level sensor. Ah, yes, the good old Model 20 comes with a Torx bit in it, which this differential has probably never been taken apart. I know we haven't taken it apart yet. There's no tags on it like GM and Dana do. There might be a part number on it somewhere, but I don't think. So this is one of the age-old Model 20, ouch, one of the age-old Model 20 differentials that has the two-piece rear axle shafts, which are basically the AMC Model 20's biggest weak link. The Model 20 has an 8.875-inch ring gear, which is actually bigger than a Dana 44. And with upgraded axles, this can be a very stout differential, and the Jeep guys even have a full floating conversion for this setup. My 83 CJ7 actually has aux lockers and one-piece shafts, and it's never let me down. So these Model 20s can be pretty stout if you put them together correctly. Let me get this cover off. We'll drain the fluid, we'll assess what's in there, and I want to pull the fuel sender at least out of the tank. I probably don't need to pull it all the way loose, but we'll pull it out. And actually, it appears that the lock ring is about to fall out anyway, so apparently when I put that in there, I didn't do it right, so it needs to come out anyway. Well, let me get a couple tools, and we'll get moving on this mini project. Oh, we lost one of our sway bar links. Yeah, our rear sway bar isn't rear sway barring. We'll have to fix that while we're in here. Well, that's not a real good angle. You guys are going to be looking up my nose hairs. This does have a separate ground. Tank should be empty because Austin never fills up a fuel tank, and he usually runs out while he's on the side of the road on his way to get lunch. So we're gonna guess it's almost out of gas. The setting unit on this thing is pretty cool because it's mounted into the side. Oh, I beat gravity just by the nick of my fingers. And there's no fuel dumping out, so we must be good. Oh, now we're pouring fuel all over myself. I think there should be a sock on this. So we have a problem right off the bat. The float has fuel in it. I need to see if I have one of the old brass floats because they hold up better than these plastic ones. We also need to get a sock for this thing. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Yeah, she's got fuel in her. So that's going to cause a problem with reliability on our fuel gauge. luckily for me, it's easy enough to do without pulling the fuel tank. It's one of the nice things about these cars. So, what hidey hole would I have a fuel float in? Ooh, that's gonna be a hard thing to figure out in my hoard of car parts. Let me think about that. Well, I'm getting dripped on. I found a brass float. I've got it on its way. It'll be here in a few days. I'm not worried about it. Let's see what our resistance is on this sending unit. Because I think the sending unit arm just needs bent up to read correctly. And obviously it will need a good float. But we can measure it. So we have 300 ohms fully down. And we have 22 ohms in full, 300 ohms empty. So the sending unit's good. Obviously we have a float issue. So it was sunk, and I'm guessing, because I think it was only reading like a partial tank at all the time, which would explain the fact that the float's full of fuel, or has fuel in it, so the float's not floating the way it should. So a brass float, and I'm probably going to end up adjusting the arm. I already adjusted it a little bit because I think the arm is actually hitting incorrectly in the tank. So we're going to give the arm a little bit of a tweak, and we'll put it back in the car. We'll see where the fuel gauge reads, and if it reads empty now, then I know that when I put my brass float back in it, we should be good to go. Oh, get in there. That's going to be harder to get back in than it was to get back out. Give me a minute. We'll get it on. I may have to pull the tank out of this thing yet. We'll see. Let's get the dust cover off because this is annoying me. I actually need to weld this exhaust up too. I might do that while I have it in here today. I can put a pry bar on that. Pry driver. That is not easy to get back in. Let's give it a little bend. So I just bent the edges down a little bit so that they'll get under the tangs that they're supposed to engage with. Let's see if that works a little better. Looks like I need to put some grease on my O-ring so that it will defy gravity, so I'll be right back with that. Assembly goo. We use it for putting seals in transmissions all the time. It's really good stuff, nice and sticky and tacky. It's basically blue Vaseline, but it gets kind of awkward in the shop when you ask the other guys in the shop, hey, can you grab the Vaseline for me, buddy, and bring it over here? So, it's called assembly goo instead, which could be taken in entirely in its own way, I suppose. Oh, that is annoying. Crud. Not working well. Could have had the tank out of the car, but it's done by now. I need another set of hands. Let's pull this cover off. These are T40s. All the Model 20s that I'm aware of. Might be some different ones, but. Now, I don't remember doing a rear differential service on this, but that doesn't mean I didn't do it. Getting senile in my days. Don't always remember everything I did anymore. Probably not a good thing. Well, they've all come out so far. None of them have been RTV'd on because somebody broke them off. I've had that happen. I go to take a bolt off and it just pops off. Somebody RTV'd the head of the bolt on when they broke it off. It's really annoying. That's one of the F the next guy moves. I better tighten that back up or I'm going to make a mess. I don't have a pan under this yet. Forgot these use a cork gasket that lays on the inside of this ridge. So this does have like a factory original cork gasket on it. I don't want to wear it. Smell like gyro for 3 days if I do that. Fluid's pretty dark. I don't think I ever did it. Oh. Blech. Gross. Oh, it's not a posi. It's just a one-wheel peel. Well, that explains why we've always got a one-wheel peel out of this thing. I thought the AMX was supposed to have a posi in it. Someone's been a liar to me. It's probably supposed to have a posi in it. But it does not. More than likely, the original posi was blown up and somebody just threw one out of regular AMC Spirit in it. I guess I'm going to have to check the other two AMXs that I have on the lot and see if one of them has a posi, because if it does, it's going in this car. Boo! Oh well. It is what it is. At least it's in good shape. Guess I could always weld it. That would stink on the road, though. Can you smell that? I can. Alright, let's put some fluid in that so Austin can drive it while we're waiting for a fuel float to show up. We used a Pipes X pipe on this, and it turned out doing just fine. We like the note. We like how it sounds. Kind of got into the DEI header wrap there when we bottomed her out a little bit, but not too bad and all. It's not leaving near as much of a trail as most AMCs do when they mark their spot. Pinion seal, axle seals are in good shape. Yeah, not too bad, all things considered. Where's the plug in this guy? Oh, he's right there. Oh, looks like a 3/8 hex. Let's pull the plug, put some fresh fluid in it. That way he don't blow it up while he's playing in this thing. While we find us a posi rear. Because that'll mean better burnouts. We all like better burnouts.
Okay, so here she sits at this point in time. We're gonna call it here. She's at least running and driving, turning and stopping. I've got to find a rear end posi setup. We could go aftermarket, but I think I'm gonna kind of go on the cheap and see if I can find a dropout unit or a used unit that I could stick in the back of this thing. Fortunately, one of the things with AMCs is a lot of the stuff is very interchangeable. So, I'm gonna go on the hunt for one of those. And Rich has the float coming as well, which is gonna be a couple of days. So AMX is off the rack, so it's sitting out here while we're waiting on parts, and I gotta go find stuff. So there you go, that's how we're gonna end it. Well, at least we know what the answer is. My sending unit's not bad. Check the full sweep and all of it works correctly. The gauge moves as you feed it power. Life is good, things are good. Fixed my vacuum leak. Thanks, Bill and Kenny and Jeremy and whoever else went hooning around in my car. I will add that 35 cents onto your next bill. But she runs great. We're super happy about it. Got a lot of exciting things coming up with this car this year. The 325 the Max Bore 304/325 build is moving along. We are actually waiting on parts that should arrive here in the next couple of days, and then we can get that rotating assembly balanced, and then get that thing assembled, and then break it in on the dyno, and we can go from there. We got a lot of really big stuff coming for you guys so far this year. A little bit bigger than actually what we originally planned. We got some stuff in the works that just kind of happened, and we're going to talk about that in a couple of days, couple of weeks maybe. But there's a lot of really big stuff going that's going to be very exciting to be able to share with you guys. So anyway, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some new AMX content. Motor's got to come out of this guy here very shortly, so we can get that one ready to take the heart out of that one. Because that's going to get the 325 and that's going to get my old 304 and maybe a little bit of boost. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.